As I turn to you this year, from the renewed lockdown, one thing is already clear. Things can only get better. And indeed, 2021 is poised to promise positive developments on all fronts. Vaccination campaigns are in full swing worldwide. Monetary and fiscal policies continue to cushion the economic impact. Finally, we expect milder weather in the Northern Hemisphere that will soon keep the virus at bay. The corona crisis is not over, but already it holds important lessons for us. Act quickly and swiftly. A global crisis requires global solutions. Individual action and solidarity pay off. Qualitative and not quantitative growth is what we need. It is possible to deploy massive resources. Human ingenuity is limitless. And last but not least, listen to science. If we take these lessons to heart, it will help us deal with the even bigger crises that are looming large. There is a perfect storm brewing from factors that are interdependent. Population explosion, resource scarcity, water stress, biodiversity loss, refugee crises, and above all, man-made climate change and its consequences. All of this will have to be addressed now. At first glance, this all sounds like risks. But even the management of the corona crisis has not only produced losers, but many winners. Think of the technology industry, online trade, and the pharma sector. In the same way, overcoming climate change should not be seen as a cost driver, but as a great source of growth. This opens up opportunities for investors in particular, but only in companies that welcome the imminent massive change in the economic environment and even provide solutions for it. The pressure on the economy is sharply increasing. The USA are about to join the Paris Climate Agreement. They will thus join the other 195 signatory countries in setting the course for the climate transition. The European Union has just tightened its climate targets further. Even China has announced its intention to be climate neutral by 2060 and has focused its 5-year plan on environmental technologies accordingly. Switzerland, which has also announced its goal to be climate neutral by 2050, passed a CO2 law to this effect and has joined the initiative for greening the financial system. If governments want to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement, more far-reaching measures must be taken for the sustainable transformation of the global economy. Emissions trading systems, CO2 levies, tighter environmental regulations, and climate risk reporting are the levers to be used. Large groups of investors have announced that they will no longer finance climate sinners and will decarbonize their portfolios over time. J. Safra Sarasin published a climate pledge in spring 2020 to reduce our carbon footprint to net zero by 2035. Nothing else makes sense. We also have to assume that the demand structure will change massively because consumers prefer low-emission solutions. And these are often cheaper anyway. Companies that act too late will be punished by the market. We are entering the decade of action. And that is good news, especially for public investments. The European Union has drawn up an action plan to channel financial flows into sustainable investments. It is supported in this by the European Central Bank. Newly elected US President Joe Biden has announced a 10-year plan that is expected to channel $2 trillion into forward-looking industries instead of continuing to subsidize greenhouse gas emitting sectors that are already in decline. His agenda for climate and jobs is also called the Green New Deal. The success of an inclusive and job-creating climate transition is not only essential for the US. Around the world, the losers of globalization need to be integrated into the labor market to overcome the divisions in society after the 2008 global financial crisis. Against this background, what do I recommend? Don't build on a short-term trash rally of airlines, cruise ships, or car companies that have overslept the climate transition. Avoid fossil fuel industries where there will be an oversupply for decades to come and that are facing big write-offs. To invest your money for the long term, ask yourself instead, what is it that will move humanity forward in the face of its challenges? What will be needed in 2050 if the world has to be climate neutral? New energies, electromobility, hydrogen, substitutes for plastic, but above all, a gigantic new industry of carbon capturing and storage will have emerged by then. What will give hope to the rapidly growing populations in emerging markets to continue to seize growth opportunities there? Access to finance, access to healthcare, access to telecommunications. What will a very affluent aging population in developed countries need in the future? Healthcare, retirement homes and meeting places. Not fast fashion, but high-quality consumer products. How do we counter the scarcity of resources? With smart materials, recycling systems, water treatment, environmentally friendly technologies. Companies that develop such solutions or that integrate them into their processes will be the winners of tomorrow for a sustainable future and for a sustainable return of your portfolio.